And lastly, the man was found almost entirely bald, no chin, clutching a copy of Guns and Ammo and erotically fondling a salmon. And now it's Needlepoint from Droitwitch with Fenella Happy Happy Peps. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the After Movie Diner, and we are here in Brooklyn today. We're on location again in Brooklyn at the Sunset Park Diner and Donuts.
Yes,
is that what it's called?
That is correct. Sunset Park Diner and Donut.
Anyone who has been listening to the diner a long time will remember about 2 years ago we covered Maximum Conviction with Steven Seagal and Stone Cold Steve Austin. With none other than Mr. Doug Frye from the Schlock Treatment podcast. And we said we'd be back to do a whole series of Wrestlers in Movies episodes. Well, we're now on number 2. Even though we did cover Vendetta, which had the Big Show in it, Doug wasn't on that show. So now we're back on track. Doug and I are hanging out in Brooklyn. It's a pleasure to welcome him back onto the show to cover the awesome movie The Marine starring John Cena. Doug, welcome back to the After Movie Diner, sir.
Thank you, John Cross, for having me.
It's always a pleasure, always a pleasure. And so, what have you had here before? What's good here? At the,
I've had mostly omelets here before. Basically, I've had breakfast here a lot. Other than that, probably I have like Greek things, you know, like the gyro platter or whatever.
Now, this is 2 eggs with ham, bacon, and sausage. Does that mean ham, bacon, or sausage, or ham, bacon, and sausage? Is that going to be a full-blown lumberjack proper breakfast?
That's ham, bacon, and sausage.
I might have to go for that.
You want something to drink?
Thank you. Can you get I'll do a coffee, please?
Coffee?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have to go for that, dude.
It's always good.
Well, it's $11 for lumberjack. That's crazy.
Damn, they got eggs and fried cheese here. Queso fresco.
Because I probably won't eat again. I mean, maybe I'll eat before the movie tonight, but I don't think so.
Kind of weird. Yeah, the New York omelet is good too. Avocado, tomato, and Swiss.
I love that. I love a New York omelet. Yeah, I'm going to go for the lumberjack, dude, because that's always guaranteed to make me ill in several places, which is always good. Who doesn't want that,
My
right?
doctor said don't go to those places.
You ready to order or you want to have a minute?
I think we're ready.
I think we're good.
Go for it, John.
Yeah, can I get the lumberjack?
Want pancakes or French toast?
French toast, please.
Okay.
And that comes with bacon, ham, and sausage, right?
You guys come in.
Nice.
I want eggs.
Can I get them scrambled? Probably the easiest.
French toast, right?
French toast, yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, I would like to do. I'm gonna do this. Eggs and fried cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eggs with fried cheese.
I want the eggs.
I'll do the eggs. Does this come with toast or anything? Or?
I want a scramble, oven. Want an oven? Or
No,
scramble?
does it come with toast or no? Is there anything with it?
Cheese? Yeah. Come in the cheese and two eggs.
No, I'm looking at the fried cheese.
Fried cheese. I'll come in the rice and beans.
Okay, so I'll do scrambled eggs then.
You guys come in?
Yeah.
Fried cheese, right?
Yes, please. For the benefit of your listeners, it's a fried cheese is a Dominican breakfast thing.
Right.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
They literally just deep fry a hunk of cheese.
Nice. And that's what Doug is having. Have you been down to DR?
No, but there are a lot of Dominican places in this neighborhood.
Right.
They do the breakfast.
What was the latest thing? Isn't there like some controversy about Dominican Republic now? Some
Kicking out the Haitians.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, whether they were born, if you're even like
Yeah, but Trump wants to do that to the Mexicans. So, like Trump's running on that policy in America.
Exactly.
So, I love that for like 2/3 of the people, they're like, yeah, that's a human rights violation. And for the other third of the people, they're like, no, I think we should do that here. That's a great idea.
You know, the other third's like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, let's keep doing it.
Let's do more human rights violations. We're letting the Chinese get ahead of us.
Yeah, right.
That's what's happening. That's why American manufacturing is falling behind. Not enough human rights violations.
Anyway, talking about human rights violations, The Marine, which is John Cena
John Cena's, I think, acting debut, I believe.
Okay, and Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick.
And when we were going through, I was really enjoying the way it was directed. So Doug set to looking up on IMDb who filmed this and who directed it and where it was made and all the rest of it. And it was made in Queensland, Australia.
Yes, and Brisbane. I think that was the outdoor stuff.
That was all the city stuff and whatever. But they authentically, I mean, okay, I've never been all down to the swampland, but I've seen it on TV. I've seen it on movies. Unless they were all filmed in Queensland, Australia, this looked very authentic, I thought.
It just looked like the swamp.
It looked like Florida or Georgia.
Oh, yeah, like you said, maybe they were all filmed there.
Yeah, unless every single movie south of the Mason-Dixon line is filmed in Queensland, Australia.
And you go down there and you're like, this doesn't look like where we are.
Right. This doesn't look like the swamplands of Louisiana.
I've seen them. They have crocodiles.
Yeah. They have little wooden huts. In the
I didn't even realize when we were watching that one scene.
Right.
And the guy said, "You told me there were no crocodiles."
Yeah.
And the other guy goes, "Yeah, those are alligators."
Yeah.
I bet that wasn't true.
No, I bet that was a crocodile. And I bet Paul Hogan was just off the side somewhere going, "Don't worry, lads, I've got this. I'll control the crocodile with my patented 2-finger mooing technique. I do the same thing with water buffalo. Works every time."
It's not a knife. That guy over there's got a knife.
Yeah, right.
He just dropped it in the sand.
He just dropped it in the sand so that John Cena could come along and pick it up later. It's a plot point, ladies and gentlemen. I won't do this the whole movie, but
we could try
the whole podcast. But no, so and it had what I love about Australian movie making is that they look good. Like Australian movies
really
just
do.
look good. They don't have that thing that like when you get an American low budget movie, whether it's action or horror, whatever it is, it's a couple of guys who've never used a red camera before with like shitty filters on them, shooting like they've got an epileptic fit. You know, like
either they haven't used before or they've already failed
right.
and they don't care anymore. They're just okay, it's work.
It's low budget, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, Australians somehow they know how to light the hell out of a movie. They just know how to make it look good. They know how to make it look.
We just do everything outdoors,
right? But well, no, because even like the indoor sequences they had that nice like
fiery look because everything was always on fire.
Yeah. I think what the cinematographer probably did was he probably rocked into any building and went, "I don't know, mate, but can we set this on fire? I think that would look beautiful. I could film the shit out of it if this was all ablaze."
Let's just blow the goddamn thing out.
Yeah, it's the same guy who shot the masterpiece Quigley Down Under.
Yes.
And Lightning Jack.
The cinematographer had a very long, healthy resume.
Yeah.
Including Mad Max as his first job.
He was a cinematographer on Mad Max, which is pretty damn high. He never reached those heights again.
I don't know. The Marine was pretty...
No, the Marine looked great.
In terms of action films, you got
right.
number 1, Mad Max. number 2, The Marine.
The Marine.
Number 3, Aliens.
Number 4, Die Hard.
Commando, number 6.
Yeah. So why don't you give us the plot, such as it is, sir?
Okay. We go from the beginning?
Yeah, well, just a quick rundown of...
John...
Oh, no, we do a thing, sorry. We do a thing now on the show.
John's trying to figure out how he does his show.
It wasn't me, it was my co-host Jim Wallace who came up with this idea.
Okay.
So before we start, and it's kind of like a spoiler warning, but it's not, it's cooler than that.
This is where the ukulele song goes.
No.
Spoiler alert.
We never do that anymore. We don't do
gone.
that. I haven't done that since the early days of the diner. I gave up. Even though everyone went, we really like that bit, I went, right, get rid of it. The moment people told me they enjoyed that bit, I was like, no.
Go download the old ones.
It's done. It's gone. Out of here. I don't want anyone enjoying this podcast.
Go to miscellaneous plumbing fixtures. Soundwave.
It's MISC plumbing fixtures.bandcamp.com.
Download the spoiler alert song.
Do you know, someone once told me you should go through all those old episodes, pick out the spoiler alert songs, and make an album of it.
They weren't just the same song?
Sorry, no.
I thought you just put the same song in.
No, I like...
Oh, you recorded for everyone?
I would be editing the podcast. I would stop the edit. I would record just off the top of my head a spoiler song.
Oh, okay.
And then I would keep going. I never saved them as individual song files. They were just things I made up on the spot.
I just thought you had one that you put in, just a sound file.
No.
Oh, wow.
No, there's for the first 40 episodes, there's a different spoiler song. The trouble is the first 40 episodes were all 7 hours long to go through each one of them and jot down where the spoiler song is.
And that, Diner Patrons, is how the sausage is made.
Yeah, right, exactly. So,
Awesome.
what we do is, by way of saying you should watch this before we talk about it, or you don't need to watch it before we talk about it, should people see this movie?
They should absolutely see this movie.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of action, if you're a fan of wrestling, and if you're a fan of things exploding, watch this movie.
If you're a fan of wooden acting,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of
Robert Patrick being like unassailably cool,
the smarmiest, greatest guy in the
walking around
world.
in a cloth black jacket, just being crazy. If you're a fan of like both in jokes and random sex jokes that don't work in any way at all, like that just don't hit the mark.
There's definitely one. There's one in joke that absolutely does work.
Oh yeah, no, there's a Terminator in joke
Yes.
that's incredible.
Who is this guy? The Terminator? And then they showed Robert Patrick in the rearview mirror of the car, like, what?
Yeah, like he looks up as if to say, yeah, who, me? Which would have only been better if he'd actually been a Terminator.
If he like melted into the sunglasses.
Yeah. Or killed some ginger twins.
But that would make him a witch.
No, but don't they use those like? There was a few movies where they needed like twins, especially security guards and stuff, or like people to go whoop when someone said some joke about twins, and it was always the same two guys, like fat guys, ginger hair, little mustaches, and they were in Terminator 2.
Oh, those guys. I know you mean now.
Yeah. They're in Terminator 2, and I don't think they're playing twins. I think he becomes one of them, and the other one like looks at him and goes, "Wait a minute, that's me," and then he like kills
him too.
Yeah. Takes his place, even though really they're twins.
Don't mess with me, pork chop.
Yeah, they were a special. Well, no, that's originally from Groundhog Day, and then was
also, it
transported.
wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Was it? No.
No, it was some.
We were saying that the
Random
quips in
goof.
this movie would have been better if done by Arnold.
Yeah, they would have worked. For
And
whatever
we-
reasons.
yeah, we don't know why.
The things that he said, like, we should see it. So should we just go through?
Yeah, let's start.
All right.
Yeah.
So it begins in Iraq.
Right.
John Cena is a hero Marine.
He's a Marine.
He disobeys orders and goes in and saves 4 other soldiers' lives, I think
Yeah,
it was.
they were about to be like decapitated. Cena's on the intercom with his commanding officer or whatever. That's probably not the right word for it, but whatever. We're gonna
Yeah,
go with it.
CO, commanding officer.
No, I meant intercom. It's probably not.
Oh.
He's probably not like, could Mrs. Smith please come to the swimming pool? Your child is lost. Like, it's not like that.
Marine, take orders.
But he's on the thing, and he's like, we're sending in backup or whatever, reinforcements. And Cena's like, no good, no time. Like, rips it out of his ear, goes in, kills everybody.
Yeah, single-handedly.
Yeah.
Sets one guy on fire and throws him through like a screen
While
wall
he's on
thing.
fire. Yeah, which is awesome.
It was amazing.
And, so he
I
then...
forgot why I started talking about that. There was something I was going to say in it.
Oh, about the Iraq thing?
Yeah, but no, about that beginning scene. Hopefully it'll come to me later.
Just that immediately Cena knows instantly, no, I would be right to go against the orders of my commanding officer.
Marine John Triton.
John Triton. That's
His
amazing.
name.
Yeah.
Triton. It's like a demon name.
But what I like
You have to
about
summon
this...
someone named Triton.
Right.
And you have to sacrifice ginger twins to do it. Just like Robert Patrick the Warlock.
Yes. That's...
Oh,
And
the cinematographer also worked on the movie Warlock.
he did?
Yeah, it was in
Julian
his
Sands
list.
and Richard E. Grant?
Yep.
Nice.
Which is actually a very good movie. I rewatched it maybe last year.
Does it still hold up?
It does. It was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
I watched it
You
as a
can't say that
teenager.
about Julian Sands very often.
No, not
No.
really. I watched it as a teenager though, so
Yeah.
I liked it back then. So it's probably garbage.
Right.
No, it's still pretty good.
Pretty good.
Mostly because of Richard E. Grant. He's fantastic.
He's hit and miss, though. He can be really good in some things and be really crappy in others.
I don't know if I've ever seen him be crappy in anything.
There's a few.
All right.
He just doesn't hit all the right notes sometimes.
All right.
Give him a good script and he's great.
And now I reserve the right to do all Richard E. Grant crappy performances on the After Movie Diner.
Okay, fair enough. We'll start that series once you've moved to Seattle. We never talk again. Because you leave New York, you're dead to me. No, I'm kidding.
I understand.
So
Yes, he disobeys orders.
disobeys orders,
And
right?
is a big hero for doing it. So,
There's your deep fried cheese. Look at that right there.
oh yeah, thank you.
Lumberjack French toast.
Lovely.
Right
Ooh, look at that. That's
Thank
a
you.
plate of pork.
That's amazing.
How are you?
You're good. How you doing, man? Long time no see.
Yeah. Enjoy your food.
Thank you.
You like some more coffee?
Yes, please.
Where's the syrup?
This giant bucket is...
Nice. Look at that. It's great. I'll have that in a minute.
I'll put it here.
I'll have that in a minute. This is quite a breakfast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I'm staring down on a whole pig. So he gets honorably discharged from the Marine Corps.
I'm not sure if it was honorable or not. They didn't really say. Thank you.
Well, he did say, like, leave with dignity.
Yeah, but that's the same thing.
Yeah, I just put it in.
Yeah, he was like, walk away. You know, this is like a breakup. Don't start.
Yeah, his commanding officer wanted to make love to him one last time. You could tell it in his eyes.
Stiffen up that quivering lip, son.
Yeah.
And get out of here.
The way they saluted each other had hidden undertones
Oh, it was very sexual.
of homoeroticism. Which, look, wouldn't be so weird for this movie, considering Johnny Whiplash,
Oh, God.
that comes into it later.
We'll come into that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yes. So, hero saves lives. Dishonorably or honorably one discharged. Because they don't need that kind of stuff
Right.
in the Iraq War. They weren't letting people out of service when they were supposed to during the war.
Right.
Let alone kicking out heroes. That wasn't happening.
People shot unarmed civilians and got medals. So,
Yeah.
the after movie diner being a bit controversial here about a war that went on far too long. It's not like you guys to go to, like, mad Asian countries and fight a war that goes on way too long.
Which is still the French's fault.
Right, of course. It's always the French's fault.
The
Quitters,
damn colonies.
splitters. Never happened to the popular front though. Anyway,
He goes home. He doesn't know what to do.
now,
As he says to his colonel, I'm a Marine.
yeah.
We might as well got into the whole Richard Gere. Don't you do it! I got nowhere else to go. But he doesn't because
He kisses his wife for like 30 straight hours.
he kisses her shirt off and not her bra. Of
Yeah,
course.
her bra stays on even though this was the unrated cut.
Which we never did figure out why.
No,
Because there's no blood in the film.
no blood in it at all. It even cuts away when he stabs the guy.
Yeah. It cuts away to the opening of a Miller Genuine Draft.
Yeah.
Just so you know who sponsored the movie.
So anyway, Robert Patrick is a career criminal who commits a big diamond heist for an unseen boss.
But yeah, he talks to him on a cell phone.
Right.
Constantly. Oh, maybe it was the guy at the end? Mm-hmm. It was, okay. There's a spoiler in there. We won't mention who it is.
It's fine.
But it's not necessary to talk about it.
No.
It's probably the least interesting part of the movie.
Yeah, there was no need for a twist. And the twist is literally solved 30 seconds after the twist by killing the person involved. So, really doesn't matter.
It's utterly pointless. It's very Shyamalan-esque twist. So, he comes home, doesn't know what to do with himself, makes out with his wife a bit, absolutely dwarfs her.
Yeah.
And just funny, she's like the typical Hollywood actress size. She probably weighs 80 pounds.
Yeah.
She's probably like 5'1". And then here comes John Cena. He's like 6'5" or something. 280
Is he
pounds.
tall? Because he looks stocky, but is he tall?
He's tall too, yeah.
Okay.
He's a massive, enormous human being. He's probably like the same size as The Rock.
Fair enough.
Only actually bigger because he still is wrestler sized.
Right.
Whereas The Rock lost a lot of weight to be
Superhero.
movie size.
Right.
He's still an enormous man, obviously, but
Right.
you know, wrestlers just don't look like people
No.
next to actors.
He looks like
They look like monsters.
he looks like Marky Mark ate Josh Hartnett. That's what he looks like. And he acts about as well too.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
He is a very stiff man.
Yeah, he's Josh Hartnett at his most wooden. And I like how when he tries to express himself,
Oh, God.
his eyebrow muscles do the most hilarious, like, constant twitching.
He's trying to be The Rock. He's trying to raise the eyebrow.
Right.
That's probably what they told him. Like, The Rock's the only one that was really any good at this, so be like The Rock. It should have said be like Roddy Piper.
Yeah, that would have been much, much better.
Go bananas.
Yeah. But, oh yeah, poor Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Rest in podcast, Roddy Piper.
Yeah. In Piper's Pit, right?
Exactly.
The interview he did with Don the Dragon Wilson and the interview he did with John Carpenter were really good on that show.
I stopped listening to his podcast.
Right.
Because it was making me sad. Because he sounded so old.
Right.
And like he sounded kind of out of it. Like it wasn't like the cylinders didn't seem to all be firing anymore.
Yeah, but he did used to like break actual beer bottles over his head.
No, I know why it was happened. It just makes me sad to listen to him. He was a great wrestler.
He was.
Actor, performer, entertainer.
So Robert Patrick pulls off a ridiculous diamond heist simply by being Robert Patrick. None of them wear masks. There's no...
Well, so don't make eye contact.
There's no like security really to get around.
There's one guard.
There's one guard.
He cases the place, takes that guard's gun, shoots him with it.
Right.
And then threatens everyone else.
Yeah, and everyone just does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Gets away with $12 million worth of diamonds. As he comes out, they could just get into the car and drive away, but no. His incredibly large... Well, first of all, he pulls out an incredibly large automatic weapon.
He pulls out like an M14 or an AR-15 or whatever,
Right.
like, a military assault rifle. Just starts spraying bullets.
Well, it looks like the scene from Heat with like Val Kilmer and Robert De Niro
that's where they stole that from.
with the big... Yeah, that's
Yeah, they
pretty.
kind of just took all the best stuff from other
movies.
places. And
Yeah. That's fine.
I didn't think about it, but yeah, that's absolutely what they did. Make a taco out of this.
And then the worst henchman on the planet,
Morgan.
who is this like 7 foot African-American guy
Yeah, he's quite large also.
who wears like a purple flouncy shirt throughout the whole thing.
He's
And
got like
seems-
a shimmery
Right.
shirt, yeah.
And seems to go from big angry black guy to like flouncy effeminate. Oh my god, something just blew up next to me guy within seconds. Like he's all over the shop with his acting.
Yeah,
and
he really flip-flops a lot.
Right.
And
then we all-
everything is... I love that Robert Patrick's character pointed it out, too.
Yeah.
Roman, whatever his name was. He's like, the guy says, why are you going to give a black man a minivan?
Yeah.
In one scene, and then finally Robert Patrick calls him out and is like, why does everything got to be about race with you?
Well, no, because he says
Why you
at
have
one
to keep
point,
us in these little boxes?
he says people keep blaming the black guy for everything, and he's like, yeah, because you keep doing it. He's like, you shot the cops.
He only points out things that he did. He stole a car.
He stole a car. He shot. First of all, he blew up the cop car with a bazooka. Then he stole the wrong car. Then when a cop approaches Robert Patrick in a gas station, purely innocently,
Yeah.
right? The guy comes out of the gas station with a gun, kills the cop,
Shoots him right in the head.
shoots him right in the head, starts to unload bullets into the cop car and the cop's partner who sat in the car, right?
Yeah.
The woman shoots the teller, the checkout
bank clerk, or the bank clerk, the gas station clerk.
gas guy.
For no reason.
The other guy belts John Cena around the face with a fire
that was pretty
extinguisher
great.
when all he was doing was trying to run to get to his wife in the car.
Yeah.
Right?
John Cena just takes off running out the door, and this guy pulls a fire extinguisher off the wall, spins, and bam, right in the mush.
Right in the movie.
Pretty great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. At which point, they take the wife as hostage, which makes no sense because they've killed absolutely everybody else.
It's the only person in the world they won't kill.
Right. And she's immense trouble for them because she, like the nice thing about this movie is for all the testosterone that's flying around, when the estrogen gets up, she kicks ass too. Like,
Oh yeah, she's scrappy.
she's scrappy and the female...
She tries to fight everybody.
Right. At one point, she does. At one point, like, she lamps one of the guys around the face and punches...
yeah.
So...
At one point when Robert Patrick's driving, she puts her hands over his eyes, like peekaboo style.
Right. So she's giving us because
She's not afraid.
So anyway, she's taken hostage by the criminals. They blow up an entire gas station with John Cena inside, which he survives. He walks out of the exploding gas station that's still ablaze behind him with no like effects of the fire extinguisher and or the smoke inhalation and or the fire and or anything on him.
It's too bad they weren't making this around the time that, recently he got his nose mashed all over his face.
Right, exactly.
That would have looked good. Good special effect. But, yeah, so, I mean, the fire just washes over him. I don't know if he gets under it or something.
No, he gets blown back by it into the fridges.
Oh, okay, that's what happened.
Yeah, the fridges keep him safe through their magic fridge powers.
The cold seeps out.
It's probably what it is.
Yeah.
That's science right there, Doug. What you've explained there is science.
And that's your educational moment for the After Movie Diner.
Yeah. If you're ever on fire, go to a fridge.
Stop, drop, go to the fridge.
Go to the fridge.
We skipped a very important part of this.
What's that?
His first day on the job.
Oh yeah, we skipped the whole bit where he was a security guard, right? Yeah.
Which is also actually very pointless in the film.
Yeah, completely pointless. There's two scenes in this movie that are completely worthless.
It introduces a character who looks like he might be important and never comes back.
Never comes back, he's like the chubby best friend.
Yeah,
never comes back. Pork chop, right.
John Cena is a desk security guy in a building.
For a day.
Yeah, it's his first day on the job.
He hates his partner on the job, then they become best friends within an instant.
Yeah, because they get in a fight together. But, the call is crazy ex-boyfriend on floor 12.
Right.
And they go up and the guy's just yelling at his ex-girlfriend, I guess. There's a guy who came in with goons.
Yeah.
We have no idea who he is.
No.
Why he has goons.
No. But the goons have multiple earrings, so they're called the genie. The genie, that's it.
The one guy was a big guy with a shaved head and a mustache and earrings in each ear.
Right.
And the guy, he was called a genie.
Yeah.
Which is pretty great, actually.
It was.
So they escort the offending party downstairs.
To the said goons.
Yeah.
Waiting.
They step in.
And seeing the things, probably the best way to handle this would be if I threw someone through a plate glass window at the top of this millionaire high-rise building.
And that's when the little guy, the troublemaker guy, gets in the line, "Don't mess with me, pork chop."
Yeah.
Which, as John pointed out to me, was stolen from Groundhog Day.
Straight out of Groundhog Day. I bet he was watching it in his trailer and then came to set and went, "Guys, I've got a great idea." John Cena picks him up, throws him through a plate glass window, which again seemingly does no damage to this guy.
No, he gets up and
who's like 4'3". I mean, I could take him. This guy.
He's shaken, but not injured.
No, he then has the longest last word of any. Like he does a quip, then he tries to build on it, fails. Like he really should have stopped midway. Then he tries to build on that again, really doesn't. Never.
He's just shaky.
He just fucks it.
Cena also slammed a guy through a glass coffee table.
Yeah.
But yeah, those windows cost more than he was going to get paid that week, for sure.
Of course. That year, probably.
Yeah, probably. So he gets fired, of course.
His friend gets suspended, but his friend is totally fine with this. Apart from the fact that seconds ago Cena was like, "Is this all you do all day? Like sit and read your magazines and laugh like an ass, like I hate you."
Yeah, he was reading like a men's health magazine, I think.
And laughing.
So what was funny in that?
I don't know.
Besides my voice cracking.
Right.
So yeah, he says they'll put you in management in 2 or 3 years, and he asks how long he's been there, and he says 9 years.
Yeah.
And luckily the problem comes along, so he doesn't have to explain why. But really, it's obviously he's just a jerk off.
So he goes back to his wife, who then says, don't worry about it. Let's double down on the fact that we have no money and go on a vacation.
But let's talk about how she finds out about the problem.
This is actually kind of funny.
She said, "What happened?" He goes, "It's just stuff." And then the news shows a clip of him throwing the guy through the plate glass window.
Even though there was no news van there.
No.
And you see it from the outside.
Yeah, someone was filming it with their phone? I don't even know. This is before cell phone cameras were really everywhere.
Yeah, this was 2006, you said, right?
Mm-hmm. It wasn't quite like it is now. So yeah, she's like, "Stuff, huh?"
"Oh, dough, you throw a guy through a plate glass window. Let's go on vacation."
"Baby, when are you going to stop throwing men through plate glass windows?"
"Last week it was the mailman." Then it was a high school principal with the children we don't have.
Then it was somebody's dog. That one was messed up. You don't throw a dog through a plate glass window.
We had to eat that thing so nobody found out about it. That was some sick shit. Although it did me for sandwiches for the week.
Yeah, we smoked it.
Yeah.
Took the dog to the old smokehouse.
Which you know Cena has out the back.
So then they go on the road, and that's where we catch up to the gas station.
Right. Because she said, wouldn't you rather go to the beach? And he says, no, I have memories in the mountains too. This was another really weird segue. He goes, I have memories in the mountains too. My dad used to take me and my brother up to a cabin. Right.
Where
And it was sort of very, like, vague as to what went on. And then he said he liked it up there because I guess no one could hear me and my brother scream.
yeah.
And I was like, did he just make a my father abused me in a cabin up the mountain comment?
It seemed like it was supposed to be a joke, but John Cena is so stiff that it was really hard to tell
Right.
what it was really meant to be.
Right.
Like, maybe he's making a confession, maybe he's making a joke.
But then also
really can't
later
tell.
in the movie, the henchman we were talking about earlier, Roman, the big black guy in the purple shirt, Morgan rather, he made a confession that while he was at camp, he was molested by a guy who went by the name of, his name was Tim, but he called himself Johnny Whiplash.
Yeah.
And this was, like, they were all chuckling about it. Like, this was like, oh, no, Johnny Whiplash had you in the bum. You know, like...
Then he gave me something I never should have accepted.
They didn't seem that bothered by it either.
What, anything
Him?
else? You get anything else?
Take
Any more coffee?
no more coffee, please. Thank you.
I
Johnny.
think that was him coming out.
Maybe. I think it could have been easily.
It could have been him coming out, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was him finally admitting, yes, I like purple sparkly shirts.
But he
And
said something like,
bum sex.
there was this, I think he said honky, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
There was this honky there, Tim, and he's got this like faraway, dreamy look in his eye.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing is told like, you know, I met my first love at camp and we kissed beneath the moonlight. Like, the whole thing is not horrific at all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Robert Patrick's like weirdly egging him on,
He was kind of just helping him get it over with.
and he was like,
So,
what
what was so
did he
great
do?
about Johnny Whiplash, Morgan?
He's like, well, he started off as friends. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
Well,
he was like it was like therapy that he was bored with.
yeah, it was like skip to the bit where this guy is raping you in the
Yeah, like we all know it's coming. Let's just go there. And then he
Again,
says
no
it.
bearing on the movie at all.
No, none. But it was a callback to a joke from Chop Shop where he went to get a car.
Right.
And this was when they tried to give the black man a minivan, and he went on to a long diatribe about why you can't do that.
Right.
But they also offered him rock candy, the Chop Shop guy. And he goes, you know I hate rock candy? With no explanation as to why.
No, the story should have come first.
Yeah. Later we find out that in the callback that Johnny Swingline, what the hell's his name?
Johnny Whiplash.
Johnny Whiplash.
With Johnny Swingline. That's amazing.
Johnny Whiplash gave him rock candy.
Yeah. Headlining in Palm Springs this summer. Johnny Swingline.
And the
Fly
swingette,
me to the moon.
give me rock candy.
Let me anally intrude you. Anyway, there was just a lot of weird, like, child molestation humor in this movie.
It ended up being more than there really should have been.
Well, there could be in anything. Ever.
Even if you're going to have that, you pick one character,
Right.
not two.
Right.
I think it comes. We're nearly not so different, me and you, Morgan.
Yeah.
We were
Which
both
never happened.
molested as boys.
Yeah. One by my father. That's kind of disturbing.
One by some kid at camp. Well, at least it wasn't your dad.
No, he was the camp counselor. He was
Oh,
like,
that's right,
yeah.
camp counselor, yeah.
But it was the fact that not just was he the camp counselor, but he had a whole name for his molester persona. that was Johnny Whiplash. So he was like a career molester.
You know there was a costume involved.
Right.
Something very 1970s Elton John.
Right.
Big
but
glasses. There had to be big
the
glasses.
fact that Morgan was okay with it and it opened doors to his sexuality he was hitherto unaware of doesn't mean that every kid
still afraid to explore.
was okay with it. Right?
No, of course not. He didn't seem to be okay with it.
Well, no, he seemed to be blowing stuff up and shooting people to kind of cope with his inner demons. Was this the whole thing? Were they like, we have to give this guy inner demons because he keeps blowing shit up, and the inner demon is that he's gay?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's
really
a bit
hard to
weird,
say.
right?
Yeah, it was
and not
very
particularly
weird.
good
Not
message.
especially interesting, actually. it kind of failed on all fronts.
Had he been like Champ Kind from Anchorman and been trying to like have sex with Robert Patrick, that would have been funny.
Champ Kind is David
Koechner.
Okay, yeah.
Did you know how he really fancies Ron, but because he's a sportscaster, he has to hide his sexuality?
I was thinking he was just kind of a creep, but I might be thinking of him on The Office, where he was totally a creep.
Yeah, he might be a creep on The Office, but no, in Anchorman, he's always trying to like, we should go away, Ron. We should have a house in the woods. And right, like, he's always trying to like, and Ron's like, no, it's just getting weird now.
Pulling a Suddenly Seymour moment on him?
Yeah, basically.
Oh man, where do we leave off? This movie it's bananas. I don't even know where we're going to finish with this.
So, the movie seems to be setting up this idea of like Rambo going after some criminals in the jungles of Louisiana or Georgia or wherever they are.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. But then, when they probably got on set, I think, and realized, well, hang on a second, John Cena would catch up to them and kill them in a minute, right?
Yeah.
Like all these movies by WWE fail in this middle act because they're like, well, we have the setup and we know what the payoff's going to be. John Cena kills everybody.
Right.
What do we have them do for like the middle 20 minutes of the movie? So in this movie, they went, oh, it's easy. We'll have him kidnapped by a couple of hillbillies.
Yeah, he wanders into a meth lab.
Well, no, he gets caught in a net, which he slices through instantaneously.
Because he has the knife.
He has
the knife. Which is a knife.
Give me the knife. I want the knife.
A lot of good knife jokes in movies.
Yeah. The best knife joke is still, although it's a terrible movie, Wesley Snipes in Expendables 3.
Okay.
Because Jason Statham's character is a knife man, right? Lee Christmas is a knife man, right? But when they break Wesley Snipes out of prison, he's also a knife man, and he goes, I was the knife before Christmas.
Oh my god.
I think that's a pretty good, I don't know if Stallone was building up to that gag, or whether he just realized it. But I think
he had written Expendables 3 in his head before they even made the first one.
He's like, when we get to the third one, I'm going to have this guy who's going to say, knife before Christmas. Like, I don't know.
He told people they didn't understand him, like, okay, sure, whatever you just say.
Whatever you say, Stallone.
Whatever, mushmouth, let's just make this
movie. As long as it makes $150 million in China, we don't care.
Guy in Christmas, he's a knife guy, and you got the other guy, he's going to be in jail. Knife for Christmas, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You follow me? Yeah, we follow you, Sly. Whatever you say.
I don't know what you're saying, but whatever it is fucking genius. And I'll do it for 20 mil.
Michael Caine?
No, that was Statham. I know they sound similar to people like you, Doug, without finesse. Kidding.
Alright, so he's going through the woods.
He gets kidnapped by these two hillbillies who happen to be 3 times bigger than he is, and I don't even know how they found those guys.
Somehow they've managed to.
Unless they're man suits that they've stuffed with midgets and they're operating them like giants.
Like 3 kids on each other's shoulders under a trench coat?
Right. Yeah, it may be that. Or evil weasels.
Who are ripping flesh.
Like you pull off the hillbilly's head, and it's just some guy like pulling levers and pressing buttons.
Yeah, it's Brain from Pinky and the Brain in his giant suit.
There's a great bit in Dr. Parnassus where Tom Waits is in like a giant man suit pulling like levers and blowing horns.
Oh yeah.
Stuff which I really like.
That is the best portrayal of the devil on any film ever.
Tom Waits in a bowler hat.
Yeah.
Done.
But
That's it.
yeah, but with a bowler hat for a bar.
Right.
Like, come on, have a drink. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this devil. He's fantastic.
I would totally do that.
I would easily have been suckered by Tom Waits in a bar. Sure.
Of course.
And then the hat blows up, which I didn't quite understand that, but whatever. That's a different movie. Speaking of things blowing up.
Yeah. Everything.
Speaking of entire buildings exploding also.
Yeah.
They go to these hillbillies' meth lab.
Yeah.
And then they think he's a cop, so they just keep punching him like, are you a cop? And then they punch him before he can answer. So
Right.
how are you going to answer whether or not you're a cop? They keep punching him.
And when they punch him, it sounds like Godzilla breaking a boat over like Cyclops' head. Like that's what it sounds like when he gets punched in the face.
Yeah. But
And he
like
gets punched in the face 8 times.
concrete to make punch sounds.
Yeah, it's they took little like car parts in a sack and smacked them against the wall of Fort Knox, and that's how they got the sound effects for the punch noises in this movie.
Pretty good. John really broke it down. I think he's 100% correct.
Although what didn't break down was his jaw, his skull, his cheekbone, his nose.
Not a bruise.
Nothing.
Not a I think he had a scratch on his cheek.
He had a slight graze on his cheek.
I think that was when he drove through a building on the outside of a truck. But
Oh, we haven't even mentioned the car chase yet, which was incredible. Where
the cop car?
At one point he put his elbow up to deflect bullets.
I think he forgot that he was supposed to have the bulletproof vest because he did that once.
Right.
They were shooting directly at him and he grabbed a bulletproof vest. He's in a cop car, by the way.
Right.
The dead cop car.
Which, by the way, in other movies, when someone gets shot with a bulletproof vest, they get shot once, and it like wipes them out because it leaves a big, huge bruise on their chest.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, I'm indestructible.
No, it hurts like a son of a bitch.
Right. It's broken ribs in the past. Like, it saves people's lives, but it breaks ribs.
Yeah.
He holds one up like it's a kitchen towel, and bullets are like cotton candy being thrown at him.
The gnats are bouncing off of him, yeah. And this isn't like handgun fire. This is automatic rifle fire.
Right.
Like military weapons.
Yes.
Multiple rounds.
Yeah.
Which bulletproof vest also doesn't hold up against.
No.
They'll be pierced before that.
Yeah. Well, the bulletproof vest probably isn't even as thick as the metal in the car, and the metal in the car is like completely decimated.
Yeah, the engine block was indestructible.
Yeah, the engine block never stopped
Because it
working.
took thousands of rounds.
Yeah, it really did.
They shot the entire roof off.
Yeah.
He'd already punched out the windshield.
No, he drove under a digger, a big digger.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That took the roof off.
Yeah, he ducked
He ducked.
fast enough not to get his head sheared off.
Yeah.
But, he couldn't see through the windshield when he got in the car because it had already been shot through by Robert Patrick. So he just punched it out. So he's driving 75, 80 miles, 100 miles an hour down the highway where he would have been killed by a bug.
Yeah, his
Would have gone right
eyeballs,
through
his
his head.
teeth, whatever, would have been absolutely coated with gnats, especially down in swampland.
Yeah, they were in swampy Louisiana.
Right.
Just outside Brisbane.
Yeah, just outside South Carolina, by way of Australia. But it's awesome. I mean, the thing is although we're picking holes in the plot and whatever, like, it's a fun film.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's kick-ass. And, like, it's filmed really well. The explosions
It's
are
way
great.
better than Kick-Ass. I didn't like that movie.
No, right. But it's, the car chase is awesome. The fights are awesome. The chicks have a fight at one point, and that's awesome.
It's good. They're really kicking the shit out of each other.
Yeah, right? Elbows to the face and knees to the face.
Solid kicks to the ribs.
She picks her up and throws her against a boat or some barrels or something.
Something like that. Yeah, she kicks her right over them.
Yeah, fantastic.
It was great.
The best thing though that happened in the whole thing when he escapes from the meth lab, because we'd seen loads of clips of him running through the jungle, Rambo style,
A lot of running, yeah.
leaping over trees and logs and whatever in a single bound. There was a great bit when he comes out of the meth lab. Cena did like another jump, I presume to like make it look cool, but as far as I could see, he was leaping over like maybe a daisy or a shrub or something. But he did a leap anyway. Shrubs in the way, doesn't matter. Don't run through shrubs, leap over them. That's what they're there for.
That's the Marine way.
That's
like
Marines.
That's like
Fox by ferns. Like they come across.
A3 in Marine camp.
That's what they do. The first is heavy gunfire. How to take heavy gunfire. The second one is hostage negotiation. The third one,
daisy jumping
and fern.
Clear that daisy, leatherneck. Move, jarhead.
So yeah, it's great.
How closely related are your parents?
So he takes out both the meth dealers.
But he's in the most explosive thing in the entire movie, a meth lab.
And it doesn't explode.
It doesn't explode.
It's the only thing that doesn't.
That makes no sense. He's got like some kind of paradoxical force around him that makes non-explosive things explode, but explosive things are fine.
But you knew that the moment they rocked up to the boathouse, where there was also a bar, like it must have been like a bar, boathouse.
He said it was a lodge.
Lodge thing, okay.
Robert Patrick said it was a lodge when they were asking about it.
Within the first 5 seconds of seeing the place when the criminals are walking through it, the camera whip pans twice to a barrel that says flammable. So you know
yeah, no
that
doubt.
by the end of the movie, that thing is sky high blown up. Because like, hey boss, what's that thing in the flammable container? I don't know. It'll probably blow up in a minute.
Robert Patrick has a few henchmen in the movie.
Yeah.
He's got Morgan, the black guy. He's got a couple of really expendable ones that get dropped by the wayside. He actually kills 2 of them, right? Just to get them out of the way.
He kills the dude that keeps questioning Morgan's psychology.
Right. Who was correct in doing so.
Completely correct, because the guy was mental.
And a real detriment.
Yeah.
He killed the wrong guy.
No, but the funny thing is, right, is that every single thing that happens that's wrong in this movie after John Cena loses his job, because that's John Cena's fault for throwing a guy through a window. But beyond that, everything else that goes wrong in the movie is entirely the fault of Morgan.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Robert Patrick picks it up with the machine gun. If he hadn't started that, then... And he even says so himself. He's like, well, in Morgan's defense, I did start shooting cops.
Right.
First.
But Morgan does blow out a bazooka.
Yeah, he definitely accelerated it.
Although that's a great shot with Robert Patrick in front of the police car as it blows up. Yeah. Like, how many people walk away from explosions in this movie? Like, at least 10 people walk away from explosions.
Definitely.
John Cena dives out of one.
Actually, he never walks away from an explosion. He's always in it.
Yes.
Being thrown
every
by
single
the force.
one. In the gas station, he gets thrown against the fridges that save his life using science. In the second one, it blows up. He dives through a wall, like a window and a wall.
Yeah, that's the lodge.
He just goes, fuck it, I'm going to dive this way.
Is that the lodge?
Yes, gets blown from the lodge into the river.
Yeah.
Because the river, through science, saves you.
Yeah.
Right?
Water.
It's water.
No problem.
No problem. There's no diseases, animals. It's not shallow enough that you would hit the floor of the river and like smash out all your teeth. Nothing like that. He's got no debris from the blown up building sticking out of his body. Like none of that's happened.
So a cop stops him. He's like, "Get out of the river."
Yeah.
Which is just weird. Like, in a boat. A cop
so then he hog ties and handcuffs the cop.
Yeah.
Gets in his boat, steals the cop's boat.
Which, again, was pointless. He could have just stolen a boat that was there.
Right.
It didn't need to be a cop's boat. It didn't need to be him taking a cop down.
No. We interrupt this podcast to bring you a few messages. After all, this crap doesn't pay for itself, does it now? You're not just sat here downloading this thing for free and not expecting to get some form of advertisement. I do apologize, and I do try and make the ads as exciting and interesting as possible. But look, sometimes you just have to tell people stuff and hope that they go do it. They mostly don't go and do it, but sometimes you just really want them to go do it because it would really just make the world a much, much better place. You know, I know that some people think that food banks and helping immigrants and, you know, supporting gay marriage and all the rest of it makes the world better, but also looking after your podcaster, looking after the person who's providing you hours and hours of entertainment. That's another worthy cause. Okay, it's not up there with saving children who are riddled with disease or, you know, wounded puppies, but it's close. You know, podcasters, you know, we're human beings too. Well, partially human beings. Well, partially cyborg. Partially cyborg. Anyway, back to the messages. So, the big message that I want to put across this time round is go to aftermoviediner.com. Go to aftermoviediner.com. Go to aftermoviediner.com. The reason why you go to aftermoviediner.com is it's not only the home of the After Movie Diner, but it's also the home of Dr. Action and the Kick-Ass Kid. They just released another fantastic show the other day, all about the movie Rage of Honor. It's an absolutely brilliant comedy commentary. You're going to want to hear that. So go After Movie Diner. But it doesn't stop there. It's also the home of video reviews. We have done multiple video reviews, including our latest amazingly funny video that is all about top 10 weird 1980s New York movies. Who doesn't want to watch a video on a top 10 weird 1980s New York movies? I tell you who doesn't. Donald Trump doesn't, but you guys, you want to. So you need to head over to aftermoviediner.com and watch that video. But hang on a second. What if you're a horror movie fan? Well, it'd be odd if you were listening to an episode on the Marine. But anyway, what if you're a horror movie fan? Well, I tell you what, if you go over to the aftermoviediner.com, I also do a horror show called A Real Horror Show for Diabolique Online. That's Diabolique. They're a professional horror movie magazine. They employ me. Yes, they employ me to do a real horror show over there. I have interviewed Joe Dante, Barbara Crampton, Andrew Sensenig, and recently all the guys from Fatal Pictures. You've heard them here on the After Movie Diner. Now hear them there on A Real Horror Show, as well as horror legend Bill Oberst Jr. All sorts of interviews. But it doesn't stop there, because there's also a podcast, Booth Talk, from the After Movie Diner, where I have interviewed Ray Stevenson, star of Punisher Warzone, and Rome, and G.I. Joe Retaliation, and Big Game with Samuel L. Jackson, covered on this very show. And not only that, I recently got to interview martial arts legend himself, Don the Dragon Wilson. If you're listening to this episode on the Marine, you most certainly know Don the Dragon Wilson. He is a multiple-time kickboxing championship, as well as a martial arts legend and action movie star. So you're going to want to hear that interview. That's over at Booth Talk from the After Movie Diner. And where do you find that? aftermoviediner.com. We have reviews, news, interviews, videos, you name it. We have everything on that website. It is hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of entertainment, just free, just sitting there. And you know what? If you like aftermoviediner.com, you can support aftermoviediner.com, because on each of the pages there is a banner at the top to click and support on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/aftermoviediner, and you can sponsor and donate to the After Movie Diner to keep the website alive. I have to pay fees to keep the website going. We have to pay for the diner meals when we go out. Also, we want to bring the After Movie Diner to you next year, to your town, to wherever you are right now. We want you to contact us at aftermoviediner@gmail.com or call us at 347-669-0053. That's 347-669-0053. Tell us where you live. Tell us if you want us to come to your town, sit in a diner and talk about movies with you. And what we need to be able to do that is for you to go to aftermoviediner.com and pledge to the After Movie Diner on Patreon. That would be amazing. Don't want to do that? Want to get something for your money? Well, on aftermoviediner.com, there's a music tab. What, music as well as videos and podcasts and reviews and interviews and all these other things? Yes, music as well. You go to the music tab and buy something from Miscellaneous Plumbing Fixtures. Another great way to support the diner. I can highly, highly recommend the album Bad Time Banjoleti. Just came out this year. It's phenomenal. If I do say so myself, I know it's me playing on the thing, but it's one of the few things that I actually genuinely think is worth your time. So go, please, check it out. aftermoviediner.com, aftermoviediner.com. Bookmark us. Be there. Engage. Watch the stuff. Enjoy all the free content. And then at the end of it, go to patreon.com and give us just $1. That's all we ask for. So please, enjoy, have a great time, and now back to the show. All the best. Thanks. And the entire predicament that the criminals find themselves in is their fault.
Completely their fault.
And then halfway through, Robert Patrick's like, wait a minute, why am I giving this $12 million worth of diamonds to someone else and then just getting a cut of the money? Why aren't I keeping the diamonds? Like, that's a realization he has.
It took him a while to come to that.
Hours after he's committed the crime.
And many murders.
You would think that in planning the crime, he would be like, I don't need a third party. I'll just go in, be Robert Patrick, they'll give me the diamonds, and I can walk out scot-free.
And that would have worked.
It would have absolutely worked.
Because he didn't even try to get away clean. They could have just gotten in the car and driven away.
Yep.
But he immediately pulled out a machine gun and started shooting at a cop car.
And he had to walk in slow motion. He didn't even run out of the jewelry place. It
was like he might as well have said, hang on, I have to do something cool.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
You knew that Patrick was badass because when he got out of the car, it was slow motion.
Yeah, I should have showed other people like moving normally. And he was slow motion in front of them. Like, how's he doing that?
The Jim Carrey like, whoa. That would have been amazing. So they run around.
John Cena runs and runs and runs.
Yeah, they get into it. Like the whole middle act, again, nothing happens apart from he gets into a fight with They were probably going through the pages going, yeah, he hasn't had a fight with anyone bigger than him in 5 minutes. How about he gets kidnapped by 2 hillbillies and he punches one of them through a concrete wall? That sounds great. Let's do that.
We've covered this on Talk Chicken before too, but it's like you can have a guy, they'll just hit each other in the face 15 times, or they'll just keep throwing like kicks to constantly miss, like ducking and blocking.
Yeah.
And then someone just tackles someone else. Immediate hit every time.
Yeah.
Always knocks someone out.
Yeah.
Just a football tackle.
Yeah, completely.
You can't miss with it.
But that's proven by hundreds of years of martial arts. That it wasn't till it wasn't until America invented the sport of, or rather stole the sport of rugby and made it American football, that people were winning fights. Up until then, fights went on for thousands of years.
Just days and days. Yeah. Until everyone was just like, I have to go to sleep. Can we just? Who started this? Yeah. I don't even care anymore. I'm tired.
Bruce Lee was so muscular and wiry because he fought off every little bit of his fat. Like he had no body fat left because he used to have to do fights for days. And it wasn't until Chuck Norris showed up and went, have you thought about tackling them? That he was like, what have I been doing with my life?
Wow, all of human evolution is leading up to this, learning to tackle each other.
Right. And if there's a concrete pillar that you can tackle someone into, so much the better. Because guaranteed it will hurt them and not touch you at all.
Anything else?
Yeah, we're good. We'll just take a check whenever you can.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
And then it ends with him fighting Robert Patrick and a bunch of
we skipped over one guy. I wanted to get to one of the henchmen.
One of the henchmen was
His name was Bennett.
His name was Bennett.
Who was played by Manu Bennett. I'm probably butchering his name. Who a lot of people will know as Deathstroke from CW's Arrow TV show.
Okay.
He was like the main bad guy for
muscular dude as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's not as big as John Cena. He's like a muscular TV guy.
He's like a regular
He's not a wrestler muscular guy.
No. He's like Stallone was when Stallone got muscular the first time. That kind of muscular.
But he got what I wanted to see out of this movie. John Cena choke slammed him through like a bunch of crates or something.
Well, he lifted him up by his neck
his throat,
and then brought him down through the crates. And as he lifted him up, he went, yeah! Like he made a noise.
He was like a piggy squeal.
Like a pig having an enema. That's what it was. He went, yeah! Like that. It was like Terry Jones was passing the sound booth one day and they went, this will be funny, let's get one of the Monty Python dudes in to dub a squeal. And they just had Jones like, Brian! And then they were like, put that in.
What do you think it would sound like if a guy got lifted by his neck and slammed through some stuff?
If he was dressed in drag and playing the Messiah's mother. I think he'd probably go, Wah! Well, that sounds great. Let's put that on there and move on.
I think outside of the choke slam, there was one suplex in the hillbilly fight.
Yeah,
I think a hillbilly did.
Yeah, I think so too.
They did more wrestling moves than this.
What about that thing where the hillbilly picked him up, went to flip him, but Cena flipped himself during the flip and landed on his feet?
Oh, okay. I thought that was
like he went to pick him up to like crash him down on his head. But as he was in midair, like John Cena like flipped round and like landed on his feet. So he almost like flipped the flip on the guy who was doing it.
Yeah, that was moving so fast I could barely even see that one. It was also very dark. They did not like that one particularly well.
No, but it was meant to be like the interior of a warehouse. There was lots of blues and oranges and
there was a shack.
Yeah.
No, but the hillbilly shack.
But the interior was a warehouse. Like when it panned out to the big fight. That's why it was TARDIS-like. From the outside, it was like a little wooden shack, and inside it was a massive warehouse.
It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, happens all the time in Australia.
Where we are in South Carolina.
I felt like that was shot in the warehouse from Razorback. It looked very similar to the warehouse from Razorback.
Maybe it was.
Where the Razorback goes crazy.
This is around the time, too, that we started hearing a lot of accents slip.
Oh, yeah. The moment you said it's filmed in Australia, I was like, because everyone was like, I don't think you should be having that gun, mate. I think I should take that gun off you.
Didgeridoo wallaby dingo.
Eucalyptus.
I don't think any of those words are English. What's he talking about?
Have you got a tinny in the dunny, mate?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a Marine. I'm surprised it didn't end every sentence with that.
Well, no, the best thing was when at the beginning was the chubby friend goes, "You're a Marine. You have all these skills." He was he went through all this list of things that aren't relevant, like covert espionage or whatever it is,
Right.
which the Marines don't do. But anyway,
No. No, they're straightforward about shooting.
that would be spies. But and then he went, "But you're a smart guy," and I just felt like going, "No evidence for that." Like
I know.
Cena should have turned around and gone, "Yeah, no, sorry."
Why would you even say that? No, my face is made out of rock. That's pretty much what I have going for me.
My favorite book is Spot Plays with the Ball or Go Spot Run or whatever.
My favorite book is Children's Magazine.
Yeah.
Highlights for Children Magazine. Goofus is my hero.
My favorite book is Garfield.
The first collection, when he looks all weird.
Yeah. I think it's funny how the little orange cat doesn't like lasagna. Please tell me that again for 17 years.
You know what? I don't like Mondays either, Cat.
It's so relevant.
I get where you're coming from. Cat without a job. We get on to Garfield.
Yeah, so, anyway. There was a really good joke recently in BoJack Horseman, the cartoon on Netflix.
Yeah, I've watched.
Was well on it.
I've watched most of the second season so far.
Oh, I'm only watching the first season.
Oh, okay.
So
Great show.
it's a great show, but when he has the daughter from his TV show up, and she's like a drug-addled Lindsay Lohan type, but she's meant to have been dating Andrew Garfield, and they're having a thing around the table, and his roommate, and she's saying like, his agent can get him work anywhere. Well, as long as it's not a Monday. He doesn't like to work on Mondays. And the roommate is like, so wait a minute, Andrew Garfield doesn't like Mondays? It's just really funny. And she's like, I don't get to eat this when I'm with Andrew. He only eats lasagna. And he was like, wait. Andrew Garfield only eats lasagna? It was just really funny the way he did it. It was such a shitty joke, but it was so well done that it really...
They pulled it off, definitely.
Yeah.
She was great. What now? Okay, so he kills Manu Bennett. Bennett. He lets off some steam.
They should have had a line like that.
Bennett, let off some steam.
While we're cribbing from Groundhog Day and other such action classics.
They could have been like, how do you know my name? You've never heard it.
I'm not wearing a chainmail vest and I don't have a Freddie Mercury mustache.
I don't know if even Robert Patrick ever called him by name. I just looked it up on IMDb.
Maybe they just say, yeah, Bennett, that'll do. Never said in the movie, but that'll do.
Just in the script.
So, it's another one of those movies as well where there is no way that the final villain would ever be able to stand up to Cena.
Right, it's like
more than his henchmen. Like his henchmen were more ripped, bigger, more muscular, knew how to fight, everything.
Cena in his prime,
right?
Versus like a 50-something Robert Patrick.
And not even in shape. Like Patrick has a gut.
No, he's a little doughy.
Yeah. But no, I mean, so am I. It's fine.
Oh no, you look fine. It's just if you're supposed to fight John Cena,
right? Although he did bring down half a roof of a warehouse, a flaming warehouse, on him, which
no,
Cena
which one?
brushed
Because
off.
it happened to both of them.
Well, it happened to both of them. Cena brushes it off.
Yeah.
Robert Patrick gets second-degree burns over his entire head.
Oh, more. His face was gone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So, like, Cena, no effect. Like, there was one point Patrick picked up a chainsaw, and I said to you, I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks the chainsaw in his back, and all it does is, like, tear his t-shirt, but doesn't affect his skin.
Sparks coming out.
At all. Yeah,
Ow,
right.
What are you doing?
I got an itch in the shoulder.
Ow, that hurts. This is my acting.
But he comes at him with a series of weapons, which is kind of cool. Like he has a crowbar, and then he has like a bit of building, then he has like a chainsaw, then he has like various a wrench.
He blocks the chainsaw with a wrench.
He breaks all of his ribs, all of John Cena's ribs with a like industrial-sized sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And he just hits him in the stomach as if he was taking down a bathroom wall.
It's also, why didn't he just hit him in the head?
Yeah, right.
Well, he already knew his head was indestructible.
Yeah, completely. He'd already put his head through. Then it gets...
just dent the hammer.
But before that, what we haven't mentioned, almost Naked Gun level of humor, was when Cena is hanging off the truck that Robert Patrick has stolen, and they drive through not one building, but it just he doesn't even shelter his head.
The first
they
one's
just drive through a building with
like a barn or something.
Right.
And the second one's like under construction. There's all
the second
kinds
one
of...
has like big metal corrugated ceiling that his neck just takes out.
Yep.
Like his neck hits the concrete, not the corrugated iron.
It's like a tin roof.
Yeah, just completely takes it out. Done. Cena, not a scratch on him.
Who also would have cut his head off.
Yeah, would have taken it clean off at that speed.
I think. Thank you very much. At some point, they should have declared him unbreakable, like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, that would have at least made sense.
He wasn't having any injury.
No, but it's almost as close as Statham and Vin Diesel at the end of Fast and Furious 7.
I haven't seen any of those.
As they're fighting on a parking garage, they're on the top level. The entire parking garage collapses, and I don't think Vin Diesel even has some dust on his wife beater vest. I think it's still pristine white.
Sure.
And both him and Statham walk away without scratches. Like, in Fast and Furious 8, they're going to be nutting nuclear warheads out of space with no masks or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all they can do. Like, The Rock will marry Godzilla and ride a Godzilla with Hitler and Buzz Aldrin through the fires of hell.
Are you just giving this away?
Into space.
You should be saving this for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
They'll make this movie.
Where Helen Mirren and Jason Statham are literally eating nuclear warheads.
This is Fast and Furious versus Kung Fury.
Yeah, that's 8. That's exactly, Because the Fast and Furious 8 is going to be Kung Fury. That's exactly what it's going to be. Yeah, it's just going to be, The Rock at the end of it is going to be like humping the Statue of Liberty, which will come alive. And
that's who he'll marry.
Yeah, pick up an Uzi. They'll ride off into the sunset with like an enormous American flag that is engulfing the windscreens of about 8 cars behind them, all of which pile up as he drives off into the sunset.
That would be perfect.
That's the end of Fast and Furious 8.
I love it.
Yeah. So anyway.
So, yeah, he buries... Oh, Robert Patrick has gotten hold of a
semi-truck, yeah.
Somehow he learned how to drive it.
Yeah. I told you, he used to do driving. He used to drive truck across this great land of ours.
Australia.
Before he became a career criminal.
I can say he gets sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just become a criminal. This sucks. All I do is drive all day.
There's still these diamonds. I'm not even going to think about the possibility of keeping them. I'm going to... No. Well, that was good. He threw his girlfriend, who had the diamonds in her pocket, against the front windscreen of an oncoming bus.
Yeah. She went right through it. And diamonds. This is the only blood in the movie.
Yes, it was.
The diamonds became covered in blood.
Blood diamonds.
Blood diamonds, finally.
Yeah. And then Leonardo DiCaprio showed up. I would like my blood diamonds, please.
I'm South African.
Where is Dimension Houston, or whatever his name is? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know. Digimon Husan is what I think it is.
Yeah, Digimon Pokemon. I don't know. Anyway.
So she's gone now.
Yeah. His wife is handcuffed to a rail in the back of this truck.
Which goes...
into the water.
Yeah, into the bay or whatever.
Right. By the time he's taken down Patrick, which takes a good few minutes.
Yeah, and then that's when the
wife's dead.
The building collapses on Patrick.
Yeah. And as the building collapses and blows up, Cena does a perfect dive out of the flames into the water.
That was some Tarzan.
It was. Saves his wife...
Johnny Weissmuller action.
By doing some brute force on the pipe. The pipe, which I think is attached to a truck.
I thought that was going to be like gasoline coming out of it.
Right. He manages to dislodge that. Well, first of all, he manages to open the truck door as if it's just in a parking lot.
Yeah, he opened the door underwater.
Yeah.
Which I do not believe is possible.
No.
Although that was underwater. Like legitimately underwater. Maybe he just is that strong.
Maybe. Or maybe the door was made out of polystyrene.
Because if that really happened, that's insane.
Yeah.
I know that guy's crazy strong anyway. But
right.
Holy shit, if he can open a door underwater.
I expected him to eat the truck, get up onto the pontoon, spit it back out again, and his wife to crawl out alive. That's what I expected.
I thought he was just going to do like some Popeye thing where he punched the truck and then she shot out of it like the spinach in the can.
Yeah. which would have been amazing. As it is, she's been dead at least 7 minutes. Like, she's brain
she's
dead.
gone.
This is another for people who've listened to the recent San Andreas episode, this is another case of dragging your dead woman out of the water where she's clearly got brain damage as there's been no oxygen to her brain for at least 10 minutes. And then having a man the size of a house barrel down on your chest until everything is broken. Ribs have punctured lungs, heart, liver.
It was the best acting of him in the movie, definitely.
Right.
Because he looked like genuinely terrified.
Right.
And it took a while to get her breathing again. It didn't look like it was going to happen for a second.
I think it's probably because they probably were like wafting an SAT exam under his nose and was like, you'll have to do this if you don't look terrified. He looked terrified because the concept of doing a multiple choice SAT question.
And you can't pick all C. No, that was my backup.
Statistically speaking.
See.
There's no J on here. No, you can't pick your initials.
Yeah, I filled in all C for Cena.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's great. I win, right? Yeah.
I'm the champion of SATs.
So, he saves his wife.
And then Robert Patrick and his hamburger face come out of the flames.
Robert Patrick.
With a chain.
Yes.
And this is the best kill in the movie.
Best kill.
Even better than the giant stomp on Manu Bennett.
Yes.
He manages to wrap the chain around Robert Patrick's neck and just like swings him up in the air.
He Johnny Whiplashes him, is what he does. He Johnny Whiplashes him.
He had his pants on, so it wasn't 100% Johnny Whiplash.
But he basically lassos him and like swings him around on a chain, breaking his neck.
By his neck, and then slams him back into the pier.
Yeah.
So we know he's finally dead.
And then his wife says the immortal line, "We should have gone to the beach."
Brilliant. Cut, wrap, print, whatever we do in movies.
Done. But the upshot of all of that is that it's a good, fun, well shot action movie that they've thrown enough stuff at it that it covers up the fact that Cena is just a big lungering hulk of a man.
It seems that I think everyone in the movie knows what's up.
Right. Patrick's having a ball.
Yeah.
He's having a ball. And it's very reminiscent of Hendrickson and Van Damme in Hard Target. It may also
Does Hendrickson have that kind of dialogue, though?
Yeah, Hendrickson has a lot of
intimacy issues, and of course this gun.
Right, yeah.
So.
But see, that was written down as I have intimacy issues, and of course this gun. And Patrick made it, I have intimacy issues.
Oh, yeah.
And of course this gun. Like,
he
just
definitely
nails
raised
every
the level.
line. Yeah, completely. And that's what it is. Like, that's the difference between an actor and someone who reads lines. I think most people, if you gave them enough time, you could put a camera on them and they could say lines. But it takes an actor to look at the line and go, well, I could put a pause here, raise my eyebrow, make this a joke.
Yeah, I know what this character would say in this regard.
Right.
And then, you go off script probably.
Yeah.
I don't even know if, and this gun part was in the script. I wouldn't be surprised if he just made that up. Like, I have intimacy issues and this gun.
Yeah. It felt throwaway.
Yeah.
But I loved this movie.
I thought it was a lot of fun, honestly.
I really enjoyed it.
It's my second time seeing it. So.
And the thing I wanted to say was, obviously, back in the day when you had Stallone and Schwarzenegger and stuff pumping out action movies from the main studios, you had people like Cannon and PM Entertainment like kicking out the straight-to-video stuff or the lower-end theatrical releases or whatever it was. And WWE, while they're not like Canon in terms of like budgets and things, they're like PM Entertainment. Like they are.
Which one's PM Entertainment?
PM Entertainment was the one that did all the like Gary Daniels, a couple of Cynthia Rothrock.
The stuff that was on Showtime at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, who was the other guy that they worked a lot with? Jeff Wincott.
His brother is the guy from The Crow, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 Wincotts I know. One of them was the bad guy in The Crow.
Yeah, and was also Guy Gisborne in Robin Hood.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that one.
So yeah, Jeff Wincott, Gary Daniels, they made all those movies.
Don the Dragon Wilson.
No, he was with Roger Corman's company. He did a lot with Roger Corman. Yeah. He did do
Billy Blanks.
He did do a PM Entertainment movie. He did Out for Blood, directed by Richard W. Munchkin, who I've interviewed.
Munchkin?
Richard W. Munchkin is his real name. It also starred Shari Shattuck.
Is he a Munchkin though? Is that like a Scrooge McDuck kind of name?
No, he's a real.
He's not from the Lollipop Guild?
No.
All right.
We represent. I don't know.
We represent Scrooge McDuck.
No, Richard W. Munchkin, Out for Blood. So yeah, he was in a PM Entertainment movie. The PM Entertainment movies were known for their stunts. Like, the stunts would be off the chain, the explosions would be off the chain, but really the rest of it would be utterly ridiculous.
Everything that's what it's. They wrote the stunts and then they put a movie around it.
Yeah, they were like, we know we can get 6 junker cars from like the 18 backlot, right? And once they're done fucking them up, we'll put either dummies in them or stuntmen in them.
Right.
Drive them over a cliff while they're on fire, while someone's standing on top of them, while they're shooting them, like we'll just do whatever we can.
Brilliant.
And it's ridiculous, like how well they did it as well. Like it really, really came up. They also did. I don't know if it was PM Entertainment that did it, but they did Skyscraper with Anna Nicole Smith. I think that was PM Entertainment.
Oh, I do remember that being on cable.
Where the producer said the immortal line, "It's like Die Hard, but in a skyscraper."
Oh, so it's Die Hard.
Yeah, with Anna Nicole's tits, basically.
I remember her flying a helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
So I think that's a PM Entertainment movie, but it's that kind of thing anyway. And WWE, for my money, for the low budget action money, has become the PM Entertainment of.
I could see
of
that.
Now.
Definitely see that.
Because they're churning them out. No one in the
They're
cast.
definitely churning them out.
Right. No one in the cast is particularly trained in anything, but they can do, fighting.
You can do probably basic stunts, I would imagine.
They blow the shit up out of everything, which is glorious.
A good explosion is worth its weight in gold.
It really is, in golden explosions.
Worth its weight in explosions.
The director and cinematographer of this hit it out the park, so it was always, like, there was never a slow bit.
No.
There was never a bit where they were like...
Really? It never stopped.
No.
John Cena was on the run the entire time.
The whole time. Because normally in these movies, like, the thing I never understood, everyone used to go on about Chuck Norris, right? And I'd never seen a Chuck Norris movie. Maybe I'd seen Missing in Action, and I'd seen Invasion USA, that was it. But I'd never seen any of the other Chuck Norris movies. Mm-hmm. And then the Chuck Norris facts came out, and everyone was like, oh my god, Chuck Norris is like the hardest guy on the planet, right? And then I heard on the Hot Fuzz commentary that they have on the 3-disc set, Edgar Wright and Tarantino talking about...
how dull Chuck Norris is to watch?
No, they were praising the movie where it's basically him against Michael Myers. Silent
Rage?
That's it. I think it's Silent Rage, right?
Where he plays the sheriff? Is that the thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So I watched that.
Killing spree of a mute maniacal murderer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, as a result of years of medical experimentation, has the ability to self-heal.
Yeah. But the trouble is like Chuck Norris doesn't do anything.
He never does.
For 2/3 of the movie, he stands around mumbling under his mustache at a woman nobody's interested in.
Yeah, he's a really boring actor.
Really boring.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, he just does one single roundhouse kick and kicks the guy into a mine shaft, and that's like it.
Where he lays self-healing for all eternity.
And I was like, I was watching this and I was like, this is the guy people go on about. Like, this is the guy that, like, it wasn't even enjoyable. Like, you can put on you can put on a Jeff Speakman movie, right? And it's enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the best thing about Chuck Norris actually is Walker, Texas Ranger.
Right, where he fights bears and does other ludicrous stuff.
It's so absurd, like the things that happen around it. It's like, I think maybe it's just that era, because it's like Baywatch.
Right.
It's just nuts. Like, why is any of this happening?
Right, it's just on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But beyond that...
Someone keeps playing a clip from that with Haley Joel Osment saying, that's when Walker told me I have AIDS. I can't remember which show it is that plays that clip. But it's
really?
Hilarious, yeah.
That's actually a clip from the...
Yeah.
Wow.
Haley Joel Osment on Walker, Texas Ranger. This is back when he was a little kid. Right?
Yeah.
That's when Walker told me I have AIDS. It's so funny.
So, but my whole point in Divert was to say that these movies never do that. Like even Vendetta, where we had a bit of a problem with the middle act, it was still moving. Like at no point did I kind of shift in my seat. It was still stuff was still happening.
Yeah.
It was utterly
see
ridiculous.
who's going to die and how they were going to die.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about these WWE movies. Like, I can't be against them, I can only be for them. I say make more of them.
Yeah, once they got past Morgan, I mean, Morgan's death, obviously, that sucked. He got stabbed, but we didn't even see it.
Right.
Because it cut to the beer bottle opening.
Right.
But then the next guy got chokeslammed to death, and then there was the Johnny Whiplash chain hanging.
You see, the thing is that
Those were good.
while I agree there wasn't enough, like, wrestling moves in this, I almost am glad about that, because one of the things that bugs me is, like, Ronda Rousey's now in movies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every time she's in movies, she has to wrap her legs around the guy, do the flip, bring her down, like, every time. Like, that's her one move.
Oh,
Like,
she
and
does like the Street Fighter 2 Cammy.
right, where
Hurricanrana.
you go up round the neck, spin the guy around,
Yeah.
flip him over, get him on a hold on the floor, and whatever, right?
Yeah.
In Expendables 3, she does that, like, that's all she's doing. Like, for
Oh, like
10 straight
multiple
minutes.
times?
Yeah, multiple times. And it's
That
just,
gets old.
you know, and when,
Gina Carano had a move similar to that in, what's the one where she was like a hit woman or something?
Haywire?
Haywire, yeah. It's a pretty similar move.
Yeah, well, there's not many moves. I
Yeah.
mean,
It was pretty cool though, because she wound up like on top of the guy,
right,
put a pillow over his face, and then shot him through that. So
right.
silenced
She
him.
added something to it.
Yeah.
But it's like at the point where Seagal...
But she did it once.
Right. At the point where Seagal became immovable and just had people run at him while he flapped his hands about, like somewhere halfway through his career,
Yeah.
it ceases to be interesting. Because you're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh,
completely.
this is the bit where he sits sedentary in the middle of a restaurant, 15 guys run at him, and he goes like this.
Never leaving the dim sum.
Never done anything. He's probably eating the dim sum with his other hand, like as he's flipping people over or bending back. He does a lot of bending back of fingers. He does that a lot as well.
That's the cardinal sin. You do not interrupt Steven Seagal.
Eating.
No, especially dim sum.
Right. Because that stuff they'll bring out all day.
That's
you can
sacred,
keep bringing it
yeah.
out all day.
No, leave the card.
Yeah, bring it back. When he gets the little dim sum menu, he just puts a cross in every box. Like that. All of it. Keep it coming.
They hand him the dim sum menus. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Bring me one of these.
Bring me 5 of these each.
And then, he gets the wafer thin mint.
Yeah.
It explodes.
He is Mr. Creosote at this point. He really is. It's hilarious.
Fuck off, I'm full.
So, so at least they keep it moving, at least they keep things exploding, at least there's good fight scenes. And if he was just doing whatever Cena's famous move was over and over again, it would kind of get boring.
Yeah, it'd be very boring. Also, that move sucks.
What is his favorite?
He puts the guy up on his shoulders like fireman's carry, right?
Right.
And then just flips him over.
Oh,
Under
okay.
his back.
Right.
It's the worst.
Okay.
It's the most boring move in all. And
So-
he's been doing it for like 20 years now or whatever.
So next time he's also on the run for his wife, trying to save his wife in 12 rounds. So that's the next one we'll do.
We'll do that one. It'll be faster than 2 years.
Yes, it will be. And I think there is a sequel, and I'm almost certain the sequel is called 14 Rounds.
I would not doubt you. That sounds
I don't know why.
probable.
But if there isn't one, get on that WWE.
Yeah. Where's our 14th round?
Right. And I'll repeat this again.
They should have done like an Ocean's 11.
Everyone
12
listening
rounds,
to this
13 rounds, 14 rounds.
who wants to be in screenwriting for a living, just send movies to WWE. They'll make them. Horror or action. That's all they do. They don't do anything else. Horror or action.
God, can you imagine they did anything else?
I don't know. But imagine them trying to do sci-fi and they're in some space station and they've tried to come up with like names of different planets and galaxies and different creatures and things. That would be hilarious.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah.
If they did cheap sci-fi with like really bad Star Trek sets and things.
Yeah. And they just had these like homunculus guys walking around it.
Let's
Big
write a
Show
movie.
and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You and me, John. Let's write this movie.
I'm telling you. They will make anything. As long as it's in a jungle or a wood.
Yeah.
It has one enormous gentleman in it who has to fight a series of enormous gentlemen.
I think this is good. I think the starship lands on a planet that
Right.
has like gladiatorial combat
That's it.
with
It's
these
like
giant
the Kumite
alien
in
monsters.
space.
Yeah.
The Kumite in space.
This is it. Cut all that out. We're gonna write that.
You have Big Show versus Steve Austin versus everybody. Just get everybody
Yeah,
from the
put them all
WWE
in.
in it. Every
Vader.
single person. Right. And then you have to pick one B-list actor who hasn't been in stuff for a while.
Costas Mandalore. I love Costas Mandalore. I think he's great.
He's in the one with Gary Daniels.
Yes, with also Vader. Leon Vader White is in that.
Yes,
the
and
big fat
Chris
bald guy.
Penn is in that.
Yeah.
And Clint Howard.
It's Fist of the North Star.
That's it. And
Yeah.
Gary Daniels reckons it's his favorite movie he was ever in, even though it makes literally no sense that time.
It's a remake of an anime.
No, I know, but nothing in the film. Like, they've handpicked bits they wanted from the anime, but not in a way that it makes sense.
Like the guy, like Chris Penn's leather-strapped face exploding. Also, Downtown Julie Brown.
Yeah, Downtown Julie Brown's in it, yeah.
Melvin Van Peebles.
Yes.
It's a hell of a cast.
It's a great cast. It's a good movie, except that it makes no sense. Nothing happens.
Do that one, too.
Who's the wrestler in it?
Leon Vader White.
Oh, okay. Although I've done it on Dr. Action. But okay.
Oh, never mind then. There's plenty more to choose from.
Yeah. So
we gotta get to Abraxas with Jesse the Body Ventura.
I love Abraxas. It's got Jim Belushi in it.
Does it?
It's got a cameo by Sam Raimi in it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now we know what we're doing.
Yeah. I like Abraxas. But yeah, we're not doing any Hulk Hogan ones. He can go fuck himself.
Yeah, the racist.
Well, it's not just because he's racist. It's just I don't want to, like, he was the one they tried to push into like major Hollywood movies, and I don't want to kind of see those.
He's kind of the only actor that's worse than John Cena.
Right. Like, I don't want to see Suburban Commando or Mr. Nanny or whatever the ones he did.
Mr. Nanny.
No interest in those at all.
Well, I've seen Over the Top. That's pretty great. Just because it really is over the top. No, it's not over the top. It's No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred, right.
Yeah. And,
but that's like a proper wrestling movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie actually about wrestling, right?
It's insane.
Yeah.
So it's great.
And you covered it on Stock Treatment, right?
We did. And we did The Ultimate Weapon with him as like a mercenary who wears a wig.
Okay.
You know.
We should also check out if any...
It's boring. It's not very good.
I know they keep putting the same guys in these movies, but have they made any like female-centric wrestling action pictures?
I don't think they have yet.
They need to get on that. They really
Trish Stratus is in a movie, though.
And do we count MMA as wrestling? Can we do like a Gina Carano movie?
Sure.
Because there's In the Blood with her and Danny Trejo, which I've seen.
All right, that sounds good.
Danny Trejo has to be in movie. Like, if you're making a B movie nowadays, Danny Trejo has to be in it.
He's got to at least have a cameo.
Yeah, him and Eric Roberts, they're in everything.
Dolph Lundgren's is in like the biggest movie of 2008, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and he had a real part.
Yeah. Doug Tilley is now doing a podcast called Eric Roberts is the Fucking Man. And they found out that he appeared... Well, there's like 700 movies he's been in that they can cover. So you could go, this show.
You got two, just the best of the best.
Right. But, which I think they've already covered one of them. But they found out that he was in one, not just one, but two celebrity ghost hunt shows. So they're covering...
I didn't even know there were two. I don't think I even knew there were celebrity ghost hunt shows.
No, but like...
let alone two of them.
There's like Ghost Hunters and something else, like probably like Mississippi Ghost Hunters or something. And he showed up on both. Yeah.
That's amazing. I wonder if he's like a big ghost
guy. He will
guy.
do anything.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah. So that was it.
All right.
Thanks ever so much, Doug, for being on the second episode of Wrestling with Movies. What do we call it? Wrestling with...
Grappling with the Stars. I have no idea what we called it.
Yeah, but whatever we called it, it was gold.
Yeah, this was a good movie.
Yes, it was.
Go check this out.
Go check out The Marine. Thanks ever so much for being on the show, Doug.
Thank you.
Real pleasure. Well, thank you ever so much for listening to this episode of the After Movie Diner. You can also hear me this week guesting over at the Hold the Mayo podcast over at holdthemayopodcast.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN. That show is also available on Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, all over the place. That's the Hold the Mayo podcast. I'm guesting this week, and it's a fantastic show hosted by the awesome stand-up comedian and podcaster extraordinaire, Jay Mayo. So please check that out. And to play us out this week, a very special sort of section of a song, really. Over the weekend, I had a fantastic party up at Ben Galina's place in the Heights on Pinehurst, and he invited a whole bunch of people, and what normally happens is we all end up hanging out in his music room and jamming and stuff like that. Well, this time I had my phone on hand to capture some of that jam. It's a little imperfect. My voice is a bit loud in the mix and so on and so forth, but it was just recorded on the fly on an iPhone. But I really dug it. All the lyrics were made up on the spot. Some of them were stolen from Tom Waits, and it was just fantastic. We had a bunch of musicians, and me and Maddie singing as well, so it was good fun. Check it out. It's a great little song. I thought I'd share it with you here. It's called Down on the Bottom of the River. Oh yeah. Oh baby, 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 baby. Down on the bottom of the river. I gotta make you squirm, I'm gonna make you shiver, yeah. I'm not a taker of a devil on the bottom of the river. Bottom of the river. Bottom of the river. Throw down, down on the bottom of the river. Well, baby, you know I deliver. I'm not a taker, baby, I'm a giver. I'll make you scrub, I'll make you shiver. Woo, down on the bottom of the river. Oh yeah, baby, can't you see? You're the same kind of bad as me. Well, baby, can't you see? You're the same kind of bad as me. Woo, woo. Take me down, take my hand and help me understand. Yeah. Down on the bottom of the river. Take me down, take my hand and help me understand.
You take me down.
Woo. Cool water washing over us. The cool water washing over us. The cool water washing over us. What a cool water washing over us. The hand in mine, well, it feels so fine. Down on the bottom of the river. Ooh, we got time, we can find time. Down on the bottom of the river. So glad that you're mine. I'm gonna make you shiver on the bottom of the river.